Let's bring on our next guest, Tom Vecchio, joining the show, Tom_Vecchio1. Tom, this week in week 15, there are a lot of games that I feel the book's trying to bait us.
Yeah, it's certainly, well, first off, it's great to be back. We haven't been, schedules haven't lined up over the past 2 weeks, regardless of that. I think it's a really interesting week, and this is honestly one of the best weeks I can remember, at least looking at lines for a lot of games. And I will say some of it it's confusing, but that's what makes it interesting ultimately. Like, we are dealing with really sharp lines, and I could see a lot of these games going either way, which is good.
Which game stood out to you for this week so far?
First off, the Pats at home, they're getting points. That's always interesting. I certainly lean with the Bills in that spot. I lean with the Bills on the money line. And it really just comes down to teams going on 6-game win streaks in the NFL, I think, is a lot. So the fact that the Pats are winning, 10 in a row at this point, they haven't lost. Like, I will always, kind of buy into variance and a team just bound for a loss, essentially.
Yeah, it feels like New England's definitely bound for a loss. It's felt like the Bears were made for loss, and they did last week, 28-21. It's a weird situational spot for the Bears this week because they're getting Cleveland at home in Chicago.
Yeah.
They're laying a hefty number of 7.5 for a Browns team that's, even though they're pretty dead, they're not dead. They want Shador to be probably their number one back. They want to make sure that they back him up. They're still a really good defense. And then the Bears have to turn around and face the Packers again next week. How do you see the Bears playing out?
It's like a classic look-ahead spot. It's also going to be, 10 below with the wind and the temperature. So really tough. I would lean Browns, and I would lean on the under in that game. I just don't see a whole lot of scoring. When you look at this game overall, is it wrong to say that Myles Garrett is the best player on the field? He's the best player between either of those two teams. So if I'm going to be betting on a side, I might as well take a team getting over a touchdown in that spot. Now,
defense.
Right. Great defense by the Browns. I will say, if there's an opportunity to live bet the Bears at 2.5 or 3, that I would do in game. I'd be very ready for that. Just me personally saying, I'll take the push with the 3, would love the 2.5. It may never get there, but the 7.5 with the Browns, like, they are at least showing some fight right now, which is good. And again, this is a big look at spot, to your point, playing the Packers next week. If the Bears were to come out slow in this game and or lose it, next week may make the season for them, considering what Detroit does as well.
I know the answer might be don't do it. How do you handicap this Colts-Seahawks game with Phillip Rivers?
That's a great question. Don't do it is certainly one of them. There are 2 ways to go about this. I was thinking about it. Do you look to Jonathan Taylor? Like, do the Colts just go in and say, yeah, it's a really tough matchup on the ground?
Are you handicapping this like Phillip Rivers is playing?
Well, he is playing. He's expected to start.
It's crazy.
At least that what Schefter tweeted just a little while ago. He is expected to start. So I am expecting him to start, and I saw Rivers' line at 151 or 152, whatever it was. I would assume that Jonathan Taylor's rushing prop is going to be 19.5 or 20.5 as it always is. The Seahawks have a great defense. We all know that. But do the Colts go into this game and say, if we can keep this within arm's reach, within 1 score, we'll just lean on Jonathan Taylor and we won't ask Phil Rivers to do a whole lot in the year 2025. But if this game gets out of hand, then there's just no hope for the Colts. They have to keep this within a 1-score game.
I saw such a funny tweet from, obviously, a Ravens account that said, I can't wait for Phillip Rivers to come out of retirement. Somehow the Colts make the playoffs, catch the Ravens in the playoffs, and Phillip Rivers beats the Ravens again.
I mean, at this point, honestly, I'm not sure if the Colts make the playoffs.
I'm not sure if the Ravens make the playoffs.
It's also true. So I on both parts, one, the end season schedule, as we hear for every team, the end of the season schedule for the Colts is absolutely brutal. They're in an extremely tough spot. And the Bengals are in, I'm going to say, a borderline must-win position. Excuse me, not the Bengals. The Ravens are in a must-win position because the Bengals, if they beat them this week, the Bengals have 2 wins over them. And then the Bengals play the Dolphins, the Cards, the Browns to close out the season. The Bengals could run the table. Like, if they win this week, they could win out. And that's very encouraging considering the Ravens have to still play the Pats and the Packers, I believe. So it is a very tough end of the season schedule for the Ravens.
I'd like the season to end.
That's, as a fan, I'm
Put
sure a
me
lot of people
out
are
of my
thinking
misery. This team's not winning anything big.
that they could absolutely still win the division, but do you have faith in them to actually win in the playoffs? I think the answer is probably yes, they can win the division, no in the playoffs.
From a non-fan perspective, does it feel like the Ravens are playing to lose, or you really think Lamar might be hurt?
It's probably a lot of things. Like, it's not just one or the other. It's
Like, I feel like they're trying to get someone fired.
Honestly, like, my expectations coming into the season was saying that Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson were both under the most pressure, and if it didn't work out, the teams would have to move on from the coaches. So, like, Harbaugh's not getting it done. Lamar's injured. It's all of these things combined. It's not just Lamar's hurt and the play calling's been fantastic. It's like, well, the play calling's been kind of terrible and Lamar's kind of hurt. But at a certain point, we've seen this story before with the Ravens. So I would rather, as a Ravens fan, I'm saying if I were a Ravens fan, I would say I'd rather move on from Harbaugh and try to salvage the rest of Lamar's career, because trying to start over with Harbaugh in a new roster would be crazy.